Alright, my name is MattHerrmann. I'm going to be talking to y'all today about sod production. And green sod means less green bills, and I'll explain to you why it's the way to go to save money over seeding varieties. So sod farming is an agricultural practice. It's farmed in general like your regular row crops, but it's not done in rows, it's done in huge fields, solid cover. So the way this is done, it's not harvested by pickers or your big combine tractors. You have to have very specialized equipment in your sod cutters. Here we have a roll cutter. You can have it harvested in these big rolls that you take out of golf courses and such, and you roll them out in big long sheets, and that's how they put them together. Or you can buy it for a smaller lawn or something. You can have it cut up into small blocks, 3 foot by 3 foot. And that's how they do it for the home market. So our main sods are going to be warm seasons and your cool seasons. Up here we're going to be mainly cool season because we have a cooler temperature, and our warm seasons just will not make it. But where I'm from, down at the beach, we're mainly warm season. Out there on the football field is all warm season. They were grown off-site and brought in, but that's actually getting ready to die or go dormant right now, and it'll be overseeded with another cool season to stay green during the winter. But Bermuda is going to be our main warm season sod, along with zoysia, and those are going to spread very rapidly because they have stolons, which are above ground grasses. That's going to be your grass in the cup. It's probably going to be the smallest one in there out of your grasses in there. That's going to be Bermuda. Alright, that spreads with stolons and rhizomes. Rhizomes are the exact same things as stolon, except it goes underground. Alright, so it'll spread a couple inches and then come up as a new plant. Go underground, stolon's going to go right across the ground, peg down, shoot up a stem. Our cool season sod is a different story. They're not going to knit together with the stolons and rhizomes nearly as effective as the warm seasons, because those are going to form in bunches. They're going to form in little circles. That's the other two, the bigger ones. You have tall fescue is going to be the one with a much wider leaf blade, and I'll point them out to you. Yeah, this is going to. Yeah.
This is taller.
Yeah. The one with a much wider leaf blade is going to be your tall fescue, and that's the main long grass in Virginia right now. It's going to be cut at around 6 inches high, so it is going to be a taller grass, but it does do well in the heat. So that's the main reason we have it here in the transition zone where we have heat and cold during the year. We also going to have bluegrass. Bluegrass is going to be the skinnier bladed of the two cool seasons, and that's the main thing you're going to see up here. You're going to see tall fescue and bluegrass here on campus. If you see Bermuda grass, it's probably going to be a weed. It's not supposed to be there. Okay, and especially it's starting to die out right now. In the cool seasons, they're still doing good. They only spread with rhizomes, the below ground stems, and come up. They do not have the stolons, so they're not going to hold together when you cut them up in a block. And you're probably not going to be able to bale them up in a roll anywhere near as easy as Bermuda. Planting Bermuda sod, that's what we're going to do today. How they do it, since Bermuda spreads by these stolons, each shoot that comes up is a growing point on the stolon. So how they do it, they take blocks, it's 3 by 3 blocks, like their extra ones, and there's really no specific way to do it. The place I worked this summer, we put it through a wood chipper. You just shred it up, and what they're doing, they're slicing the stolons apart, and getting those little growing points. And it's called sprigging. They're going to take all of those and dump them in a big basket. When they go through, it's going to plant just those little pegs in the ground. They'll push them in the ground and put a little bit of soil over top of it. From there is going to sprout and come up, and it's going to send out stolons very rapidly. 2 to 3 weeks, you should have ground cover. It's very quick with Bermuda. Okay, so now we're going to plant it. Okay, everyone have a stolon? Okay. What you're going to do, you're going to take your scissors, and where you have a shoot come up, that's going to be your growing point. You're going to cut on either side of the growing point. So you're left with a stem and part of the stolon.
One more time.
Okay, like come
We've got a
back
hole
here.
coming up here. What do we do with it?
Okay, so you see how this stem's coming off the stolon? Right here is where it's going to root itself down when it goes across the surface.
So we cut right here.
So you just cut on either side of it, like right there.
On
That
both
should be
sides? Or just one side?
Just both sides, I mean, so it can fit.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to cut that, and that's going to be your growing point. And you can, in theory, you can take that if you water it and fertilize and keep up with it. You could grow a yard out of that one little peg, but usually you're going to sprig, I mean, every couple inches you're going to have a sprig. And it'll fill up rather quick with the Bermuda grass. Zoysia, the other warm season, it's going to take about 8 weeks before you get ground cover. That's how they spread. That's why it's such a good grass, especially for athletic fields. That stolon provides excellent traction. That's why we have it on our football field. Okay, so we already cut the stolon. Now you're going to fill up your empty cup with soil. You can fill it all the way to the top.
Try and not make a mess this time. Hopefully y'all got there in the soil.
Now, you're going to take your cut stolon, and just like you do with any seed, put it in the ground, just like you're planting a little tree. Put it in the ground, cover up the end of it where the growing point is, just cover it up with a little bit of dirt. And I apologize, I do not have any water with me today, but you can feel free to water it. And it should root itself down from there and continue to grow. Picture references, I actually brought some fertilizer and I did our calculation, and I'll explain to you real quick how this one goes. When we're looking at fertilizer, there's 3 main ingredients. You have your 3 numbers on the bag. Every bag of fertilizer is going to have your 3 numbers. First number is going to be your percent nitrogen. Your second number is going to be percent potassium or percent phosphorus, and your third number is going to be percent potassium. The main one we're going to look at is the first number on the nitrogen. I did the math last night, and for this cup square footage, we're putting it at 1 pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. It's going to be the rate we're putting it at. And for this, it comes out to be 0.8 ounces, or about a half an ounce. So you can fill your shot glass up with about a half an ounce of this and pour it in there. And when you put water on it, the fertilizer will begin to break down, and it'll be good for the grass and help it get a good growth.
How many ounces are they?
An ounce.
Oh, so you just fill them halfway?
Yeah.
Can we use this fertilizer with food as well?
I could honestly not tell you anything with food.
Oh, it says all purpose.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not the strongest stuff. The soil has 26% nitrogen in it, so when you put this with it, you're right around 36%. We use 46%, like on golf courses.
We just put it right on top or what?
You just pour it in there.
You guys don't use liquid fertilizer?
Do about a half a cup. No, we haven't used it.
Some of the fertilizer you gotta be careful with. Like liquid fertilizer, I mean, this is dangerous. Well, we use one kind of fertilizer that we had to put on certain plants, like an herbicide, that
Well, I bought a fertilizer yesterday that had a pre-emergent in it, which will actually keep the grass from pegging its roots down.
oh,
So I had to take that one back and get a new one.
this one, like if you even open it near like tomato plants, it'll just kill them all. Like even if it doesn't get on them, just like the vapors and everything that travel through, like a 50-foot radius at
Like
least.
sniffing the moon.
Ethylene?
No, I don't remember what it was called, but it's had a weird generic name.
So, are there any questions?
So will this grow into looking like something like these?
It'll probably stay a lot closer to the ground. It really hugs the ground with those stolons.
Okay.
It will grow up 6-7 inches. Right now, with it being cold, you're probably not going to get very much growth unless you're indoors and you irrigate it very well.
So I'll put this in a windowsill, it ain't gonna do anything?
It probably will. You'll probably see some growth.
Okay.
But I mean, when it starts to get cold, it's going to go dormant and shut down. It won't come back till around June before you really see any progress coming back.
When you say irrigate, does that mean like, is that when they use the machine to put the big holes in the ground?
No, that's core. That's aerate. Like
Okay.
irrigate
Okay.
with the water.
Mm-hmm.
Our warm seasons, when it gets cold, there's not much you can do for them because they just shut down. They can't grow when the soil gets below a certain temperature. Your cool seasons, they can grow in hot weather, but you have to keep them wet. I mean, if they start to dry out, they're going to get diseased and they're going to die. Bermuda is probably your least diseased prone. It doesn't get very many diseases. It has excellent traction. It's the whole football field is Bermuda, but it's going to start turning brown here when the first frost hits around October 15th, and they're going to overseed it with another cool season, perennial ryegrass, and it'll get really, really dark green.
Is there any of those sod farms like around here? Are they very common?
There's one that's a couple thousand acres in Fredericksburg.
Really?
There's one down near the Outer Banks.
They just grow grass and cut it for sod.